in the AFC East, as it'll be the Miami Dolphins taking on the Buffalo Bills. I'll join you again at halftime to look at some of these stats and scores from earlier this afternoon. But for now, it's Sunday Night Football. And on the call, as always, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, winter is just around the corner as you get a look at New Era Field, just south of Buffalo, New York. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Godden. And Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
It's the final 3 weeks of the season. Still plenty to play for here as we're underway in Week 15. This fielded at the 2. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. So here come the Bills on offense for the first time. Commanding the offense will be the 7th overall pick of the 2018 draft. It's Josh Allen.
Coming off of a loss their last time out, I think he's just seeking to make a bigger impact on the game. He threw a touchdown pass, didn't throw an interception. I think he just wants to jump those numbers up in terms of flinging it around and letting his receivers get into the end zone.
Devin Singletary with his first carry of the game. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. Second down. Now after that last running play, we've got an offensive lineman down on the field. We'll check on his status when we return to Orchard Park. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
I can't believe they even let you play.
On 2nd down, here's a run with Singletary. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
One thing that really impressed me about Joey Bosa is that he doesn't sacrifice the run game trying to get sacks. This guy really knows how to hold the point of attack, great leverage, and then goes and sheds people and makes plays.
And at 6'5", 270, just a monster.
Absolute monster with a really high motor.
Here's Allen to throw it. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he'll be stopped at the 27-yard line, well short of the first down marker. The screen good for 6, but it's not enough as it leads to a 4th down.
There's an example of good situational football being played by a defense. They understood where the 3rd down play was, the down and distance, and made sure that they didn't get anywhere near that, bringing up 4th down.
Yeah, they were sniffing out that marker, didn't want to let him get close to there, and now a likely 3 and out to start.
Yeah, I love the way they rallied to the football and got to him and made sure he didn't give up much run after catch.
Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Here's carry number 1 for Jordan Howard. And he'll be corralled right around the 34. It'll be a pickup of 16 and a Dolphin first down. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Here's the first carry from Matt Breida. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. And Miami first down, that one going for a gain of 11. A lot of running backs, a little bit of a disadvantage when you start talking MVP. Might not be the case this year. You think he's got a shot, don't you?
I do. I think he's got more than a shot. But what he's going to need here down the stretch this late in the season, he needs that big closing game, that game that we're all going to reflect on and go, oh, my goodness, did he put up a number, let's say, 200 plus?
Once again, they run with Breida on first down. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 17 yards for the Dolphins there as they've got themselves a first down. So back-to-back big runs, picking apart this defense on the opening drive.
I thought this was a passing league. I thought this was the era we were in where the ball was always in the air, right?
They didn't get the memo.
They didn't get the memo, and I know this to be true. Offensive linemen still, to this day, they want to run the football. They want to fire out and hit people across the line of scrimmage, and they're clearing space.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. Time to feature the offensive starters, and our first chance to get a look at Parker.
Devontae Parker came out of Louisville with a guy who was known as a mature receiver. Runs routes really well, but the best part of his game, he'll jump over you at the end of a route and go get the football.
Here's 2nd and 8. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's got a first down as a tackle made at the Bills' 15-yard line.
I do believe we'll see a little bit more of this as this game progresses, because when you can have that type of a gain in the middle of the defense, it hurts them in so many ways, because most teams like to be strong down the middle. And if you can sting them there, that opens things up for you on the outside as well.
That's where their big tight end. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. Devontae Parker, his 26th touchdown, drawing even with Marshall Faulk for the 4th most in a single season, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turning to his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
That time a 6-play drive, and it winds up in 6 points for the Dolphins. This fielded at the 2. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys have set up shop at the 23-yard line. And the Bills getting set to go. And they'll certainly be trying to do better than that first drive where they went 3 and out.
And sometimes the first drive is just simply to settle nerves. You know what it's like at the start of a game with the emotion. Guys a little bit jumpy.
But you do.
Oh, you understand the same way. It's just like us calling one, right? Making sure we ease into the game, let it come to us.
Well, you went 3 and out.
And now they have that opportunity.
No, you didn't go 3 and out. I went 3 and out on that first drive. I'm trying to do better here. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. 10 yards, good enough for a Buffalo first down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. On first down, they stick with Singletary. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags. So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Allen going to give this one to Singletary. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. The starters now on offense, and Stephon Diggs, our first chance to see him today.
Brandon, remember we had this conversation about how highly recruited he was in high school. Didn't quite live up to it in college due to some injuries, but boy, has he hit the NFL like a bomb. Stephon Diggs, a crafty, mature route runner who can go the distance.
Allen finding his tight end Croft. Evades the tackler, and now some space. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 42. run with Singletary. And he'll just plow right into a host of tacklers. Nothing there at all, and it'll be 2nd and 10. Look at the starters defensively for the Dolphins. They were strong last week, CD, and that went over New England.
I just consider myself fortunate that I'm not in charge of the offensive line. They gave up 7 sacks last week. And if things don't improve in this game, the head coach isn't going to be looking at the offensive line. He's going to be looking at the offensive line coach. And that's when things get dicey.
On 2nd down, Singletary. And very little there. He might have gotten a yard. Yeah, I think he got a yard to the 41.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Throwing is Allen on 3rd. And Pasco's got it. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 20-yard line. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
The numbers for him from a week ago: 16 carries, 65 yards, and a touchdown as well.
10 touchdowns on the season for him, and I don't know whether these goals are written down. I don't know whether they're discussed amongst the team, but I do know this. Every guy who touches the ball as a ball carrier thinks 10 touchdowns is a nice round goal to try and reach in a season.
It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and that'll lead here to a 3rd down. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Allen from the gun on 3rd down. And that's caught by Beasley. 60 catches for him now on the year. This last one, a first down.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Check 55 to Mike. Let's go, heavy.
They run here with Singletary. And from the 9, they get this to the 5-yard line. So that run gets them about halfway home.
Yeah, it's now 2nd and goal. The end zone beckons. It looms. They can do whatever they want. Full playbook. Run it again, or they can go play action and try and put it in that way.
2nd down and goal. Allen toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on 3rd and goal? So the shotgun snap to Allen. That'll be taken in by Beasley. Touchdown, Buffalo. Cole Beasley, his 2nd touchdown on the season, as they are now on the board here in the first half. And he knew he was going to take a shot in the pocket. He did, but he also found a way to get it into the end zone.
And that has to ease the pain a little bit of the shot he took, didn't it? Being able to throw it into the end zone for a touchdown.
So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. This will be fielded at the 8. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. So the Dolphins offense heading out as we give you a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And right now they're in that number 2 spot. They'd love to hold on to that, but first things first, they want to clinch that division.
Well, let's go back to the conversation we had with the coaching staff, and you asked that very question about how important is it really? You got a good team. Can't you win from any spot in the play? They all looked at us like we were crazy, right? You can do it from a lower seed, but no one really wants to try it. Higher seed, much better for them. They want to clinch this division.
Definitely don't want to slip to 5 or 6 and go on the road in that first playoff game.
This is Breida.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. That one good for 13 and a Dolphin first down. Consecutive plays now where that offensive line has really created a lot of space.
And we've seen the confidence rise, haven't we? It borders on arrogance now, and that's that good arrogance, believing you can run the football whenever you get good and ready.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
Hindsight is 20/20, partner. Maybe they should have kept it on the ground again.
Well, it almost looked like the O-line was run blocking again. I mean, they opened up a big hole last time. This time they opened up a hole, and the quarterback got sacked. On the give, running right is Howard. They get 2 yards back, but they're going to need a lot more than that here on third down.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
And he finds Parker here, complete. 14 yards is the pickup there, but it'll still lead to a fourth down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
And this is good. He got just enough to clear the crossbar as he drops it in from long distance. And the Dolphins have taken the lead. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted. But I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
And now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line.
Hey, Trinity! Watch it, I smell fear in that offense. I smell...
On 2nd and 15 now. Allen. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
21 yards there on third down.
Well, we're used to seeing the guy that you consider the #1 receiver double covered, but how about this guy? He's double covered and finds a way to make the play for a first down.
That's how you increase your Madden rating, right?
No doubt about that at all. And you know something? I think we'll hear about that from him soon.
On first down, Singletary. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Here's Singletary. And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down.
Defense.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
And he will make his way back to where he started from, and that's all, as we will make our way to the 2-minute warning. Coming up in a couple of minutes, we'll get you to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. The coach will have stats and scores from earlier today in the NFL. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Allen. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
He kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
And he can only manage to take the football to the 40, and that is well shy of the first down marker.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. They'll start on the ground with Breida. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down. Now a stoppage here as it looks like we've got a Dolphin shaken up on the play. We'll check on his status when we return to Orchard Park. The previous run, good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard. 2nd and 1. Looks for Parker, and it's intercepted. Tre'Davious White with a pick. And he will score. Touchdown, Buffalo. How about that for a little jolt right before intermission?
You talk about taking momentum into the half with you, and so many teams have an emphasis on trying to score in the last 2 minutes of a half. They carry that with them. It's not often talked about scoring on defense, though. That's extra mode.
And now they may take the lead into the locker room as well. Crosby with the extra point, and the lead is now 14-10. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. This will be taken about the 12. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Now we get a peek at the captain of this offense heading back out there. Charles, it's the second quarter. Your team's losing. You're not playing well as the quarterback, but like I said, it's the second quarter. So how worried right now are you?
You're concerned, but you're not panicked because you know there's still an opportunity. No one's excited about his stat line right now. 1 touchdown pass, okay, that's cool. But he's throwing an interception as well. Can he eliminate the mistakes and keep making the positive plays, the good plays? That's what they're looking for from him.
Time to find out if he can do just that. Looking left side, and he's got him in. It's Grant. 23 yards, the pickup there. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. They'll run on first down. And he'll get inside the 40 to maybe the 38-yard line. Tremaine Edmonds there to bring him down.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
They'll set up a throw. Brought in over the middle by Grant. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. The Dolphins going to take their second timeout as they stop it with 19 seconds to go in half number 1. This quarterback now, after the pick on the last drive, 3 for 3 to start this drive. It's 1st and 10. And this is Parker, complete. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. Now the Dolphins will use the last of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this first half. So it's 1st and goal and a great opportunity to get that lead back before the break. And this is caught by Parker for a Miami touchdown. Devontae Parker in the final seconds of the first half. And the Dolphins are going to jump back in front. So they're able to capture the lead here just before halftime.
And not only that, they get the ball to start the second half.
That's right.
This is almost like basketball down the stretch, right, where you get the 2-for-1 situation where you try and get 2 shots to your opponent's 1. In this situation, they got the touchdown. They'll get another shot at to start the second half.
Could be a big turnaround. A drive that time of 6 plays. And it ends with a touchdown for the Dolphins. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. Likely time for just one final play, and then it'll be off to the locker room to talk about how they can erase this deficit.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people look at it and go, well, maybe you take a shot here. Maybe you get some momentum going into the half. What's the flip side of that? You do something crazy, quarterback gets hit, ball comes free, and now you're down an even bigger margin. Go ahead and take this one, go to the locker room, start over.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. A final shot before half for Allen. And it's knocked away and incomplete. So we've hit halftime. Just a field goal separate. There you have it. Half. Halftime quickly over. Third quarter, here we go. The Dolphins in front, and they'll be in possession of the football first as the second half gets started. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Out comes the Dolphins now. They'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They have the lead now. They'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
We'll see if they do just that. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. On first down, it's Howard. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 17 yards for the Dolphins there as they've got themselves a first down.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
Switch it, switch it, switch it. Come on, switch it. Tighten up, tighten up, tighten up.
On the handoff, this is Breida. And he will force his way forward for a yard or two, but I have a good feeling this will be coming back.
Offense.
That hold coming from the middle of the line, the center.
And it's difficult for him because sometimes you've got people right over you, and as soon as you snap it, trying to get your hands up and block them, you can be a little bit late getting it done.
Now a give to Breida. 4 yards on the pickup. It'll be second down.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
Here we go, D. Get off the field.
Second and long. He gets it into the arms of Parker, complete. And he is down deep into Buffalo territory. A big change in field position there. That's 40 yards on the catch and run.
That's a real nice job right there, working the middle of the field, working against those safeties. And you know, partner, if you get your hips turned the wrong way, big plays can result.
And a big play resulted right there. So after the big play, look at this, all the way down at the 15 now on 1st and 10. And to give this time to the tailback. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. This is Howard on second down. And he'll find his way down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. 2 yards the gain there, and now they're left with a third and about 4 for a first.
Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who can do more than one thing. And I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, and he'll take this. Fighting for the end zone. He lost the football. It's out. A good, sustained drive there in this third quarter, capping it off with a touchdown to give them a nice 2-score advantage.
It was actually a fun one to watch, wasn't it? I mean, for me, seeing the mix of what they did, how they moved the ball downfield, very sharp, too. Each and every play seemed to be executed with great dispatch.
Sanders on for the extra point. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. So this drive spans 7 plays, and it winds up in 6 points for the Dolphins. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. So here's the Bills offense now. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
That first down completion only netted them 3. 2nd and 7. They'll run here with Singletary. And they're able to swarm him behind the line, and his rough night continues. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Working out of the shotgun. Here's Allen. And he finds Beasley, complete. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Now a run with Singletary. Pushing forward for 3 up to the 48. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. This is a draw play. Allen gives to Singletary. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line.
And how about that, partner? That happened in a hurry. Sudden, explosive, gets into the backfield, and spills the play.
And he was AFC Defensive Player of the Week last week. He does a play just like that. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And to the 46 he goes and no further, so he is well short of the first down marker. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
A running play here on first down is going to go nowhere as he is tackled behind the line of scrimmage. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13. So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. And he'll be taken down, losing yardage back at the 9-yard line. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming.
Well, partner, I guess sometimes it's just a matter of philosophy. Some say run until they absolutely stop you, and others say, well, when you think they're about to stop you, fool them a little bit. I guess they should have tried to fool him on that play.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Partner, the way this offense has marched up and down the field during this game, it's almost a surprise to see an incomplete pass on 3rd down, isn't it?
Yeah, they have had their foot on the gas all game long, but here finally stalling out. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Bills will take over the football with a 1st and 10. Back onto the field now comes the Bills offense. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Allen. And that one incomplete. They try to sneak in a deep ball with the clock running down, but to no avail as time will expire on this 3rd quarter of play. Back now in Buffalo. The Bills have the football, but they trail here as we begin quarter number 4. To throw on 3rd down, Allen. He's got this to the 30 before being taken down. That one nearly 30 yards, 29 of...
Press coverage on the outside, and for defenders, that's the ultimate risk-reward. If you take the risk, can you reward yourself by keeping them on the line of scrimmage? But no, not on that one. Got to step on them. Now just a matter of laying the ball out there for him to go get it.
Allen finds Croft as tight end. And they move this all the way down to the 9. 2 chunk plays in a row. The last one was over 20 yards, and so is this one. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Allen to throw once more. That's into the hands of Pascal. And he is into the end zone for a Buffalo touchdown. Zach Pascal, his 4th touchdown on the year, as they are now just an extra point away from making this a 3-point game. And on that one, able to catch it, also able to have the wherewithal to take it in for the score.
And how about the phases of a successful catch and a completion of a play? Look the ball in, secure the catch, and then, of course, the run after the catch that ends up in the end zone.
This will be fielded at the 8. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. And as this offense makes their way back out, NFC playoff race time, we give you a look at what's going on there. They'll begin the drive with Breida. Space to maneuver at the 40 as they finally wrangle him in at the 48. First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
He'll look to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Grant. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. A Miami first down, that one going for a gain of 11. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
They try to run on first down, but this defense says no dice. They stop him a couple yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
The throw here caught by Devontae Parker, and he's got a first down as the tackle made at the Bills' 22-yard line. Defensively, they're okay with that. Short little route, tackle him inbounds. Okay.
All right, cliche alert. It's time for someone to make a play because they've got to have something bigger downfield. They can't just take what they give them. They've got to force it and make something big happen for them.
This quarterback now, 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. And this is caught by Parker for a Miami touchdown.
Great job. Touchdown for Dave.
Devontae Parker with his 28th touchdown, drawing level with Sean Alexander for the second most in a single year. And the Dolphins are able to extend that advantage.
And this is obviously quite a performance. And most of the time when we talk about someone putting a team on their back, I think we're talking about a guy who runs the football. In this case, it's a guy out wide catching it, and he's done exactly that. Truly leading his team right now towards victory.
3 touchdown catches. He's been the headliner. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Out come the Bills as we take a look at the playoff race in the AFC. As we take a look at the playoff picture, and certainly a lot of jostling still to go in these final few weeks. For the moment, they would be a wild card team, far from locked up, but that's why this is exciting these last few weeks. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Joey Bosa, what a season he continues to have, his 15th sack of the campaign.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on second down. To the air, Allen. And the grab by Croft. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. Those short little routes probably going to be open. The defense, they'll let those happen, especially when they can make an inbounds tackle.
Yeah, where's Coach Madden when you need him? He always talked about taking what the defense gives you, but sometimes you have to know when you have to take more. That was one of
Stephon Diggs, the 30. And he'll be marked down deep on Miami's side of the field. A big play here for Buffalo. And even 60 yards. And in a two-score game, obviously, every play, every third down, like we saw there, magnified. Big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to third down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
The defense showing some anger after giving up the big play. This time they'll lose one or two. They go right back to Singletary. And not much to speak of there. Maybe a yard down to the 20. The Bills on third down. They've been really good, converting 7 of their 10 tries. This is 3rd and 11. Allen going to throw. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. Down under 2 minutes to go in this football game. So it's Bills football here as we get you reset. They've got it 1st and goal as they look to punch in a late score. Allen now looks to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Raekwon McMillan in there to take him down, and the clock will roll. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. He lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down. Really good defensive effort. They were all over that little swing pass out to the right side before lost yardage.
Terrific read, better execution, and done with a lot of enthusiasm.
Absolutely.
They saw it all the way, ran to the football, and caused a nice play for lost yardage.
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. So you knew one way or another that they needed the 2 scores. They get the easy one out of the way. Now they'll get the ball back, hopefully.
Yeah, and the question is, how do you accomplish that? Do you onside kick it? Or since you have all 3 timeouts, do you kick it deep? To me, I'm playing field position with all 3 timeouts. I kick it deep and try and pin them back there.
A tough one there. They certainly wanted that when they needed it, but they didn't absolutely have to get it. They still do have 3 timeouts.
You're exactly right. They had to attempt it. But even though they didn't get it, as you noted, with 3 timeouts, if they can get these stops on defense, all hope is not lost.
They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down. How good has he been throwing the football, though? And despite that incompletion, that's just the 3rd time he's been off target this entire game.
And Brandon, I've been on the other side of this equation, trying to defend a guy who's been this hot, and it chips away at your confidence. And when you're not confident when you're trying to defend, it makes you slower to the football, and it leads to more completions for them.
An extra defensive back here for the Bills on 3rd down. They'll look to throw. And it's caught by Parker. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. Devontae Parker with touchdown number 29, 2 short of LaDainian Tomlinson's all-time record 31. But the Dolphins are able to extend that advantage.
Well, it'd be real easy to say that they are firmly in control right now, but I'm looking at your face and I'm thinking I've got to be careful with that.
Well, it's a 2-score game. You're inside of 2 minutes. I think you can breathe relatively easily now.
Yeah, you can, but still, you got to stay vigilant. Can't give up anything cheap and easy. That could put you in some jeopardy.
Extra point up and good by Sanders. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it ends with a touchdown for the Dolphins. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And as this offense makes their way back out, it's AFC playoff race time as we give you a look. And it's right about this time of year you start to say this is when the cream rises to the top. Week 15, 3 weeks left to go, but still plenty to be determined.
And I think for most teams, the obvious is to try and be the number 1 or number 2 seed. But when you look at it across the league and throughout the history of trying to get to the Super Bowl, the teams you really fear are the ones that get hot and sometimes sneak in at a 5 or a 6 seed, because we've seen those teams actually get to the Super Bowl and occasionally win it.
Yeah, you think of the Giants a couple of times. Steelers have done it. You're right. It has happened and will happen more in the future, I'm sure. Now the Bills will use the 2nd of their timeouts. as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this fourth quarter.
Yeah, let's get a sack lunch.
From the 44, Allen is complete to Diggs. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. The Bills are going to go ahead and use their final timeout as they get it with just 19 seconds left on the clock. Allen now on first down. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And this is caught. So it's a late touchdown, but maybe too late. Still a little time left on the clock, however.
No, we're not cheering. No, we're not rooting, but I am excited about this, and I know you are too. We got a ball game again after that big-time strike.
Big-time strike, and you are right. Don't go anywhere yet. This thing's not done. Extra point up and good by Crosby. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this fourth quarter. That time, 75-yard drive, 5 plays. And it ends in a Buffalo touchdown. And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. They had to go for it with no timeouts remaining, though now. This one's as good as over.
They gave it an effort. They tried their best, did everything they could to try and get the ball on the onside kick. You're exactly right. They had to try it. It was their only option. And now this game is done. Just take it, kneel, and call it a day.
So a victory here for the Miami Dolphins. And they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half that put this one on ice.
So you get the sense that whatever was said at halftime obviously hit home. I think it's a little bit more than that, though. Obviously, there are words that are said, and, hey, come on, guys, we have to play better. But sometimes it's just sharpening your execution, sharpening your focus, and maybe doing the things you practiced all week without major adjustments, just doing them better. And that got it done in this one.
So for the Dolphins, they continue to roll as the win gets them to 12-2.